Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Florida's #1 hockey podcast, the Cats and Bolts. We are love to have you, love to see you. We got a good one for you. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Ben Castro. Hi. Hello, everybody. The guy who looked like he was going to have an aneurysm, but it's an act. He's fine. He's fine. It is what we're calling our USA versus Canada episode of the Cats and Bolts podcast. Ben Castro, producer to the stars, with his man Eric CK at the end, filling in very capably at the controls. Brent Waltman is with us here as well, the man. I wanted to do a large, like a gender reveal, but a country reveal, who you were cheering for, and you blew that.
Well, hey, come on, man. I was holding my breath for 3 periods of hockey, so least I could do is don the Canada hat.
We are live streaming on YouTube right now from Podcast Junkie Studios in downtown Boca Raton, Florida, where Canada has already done their job. They advanced. That's what Brent's talking about, sweating earlier. Trailing Czechia 3-2 in the third period of a quarterfinal at the Olympics, coming back, tying it, and Mitch Marner scoring in overtime. So here's the problem. It's not a problem, but USA is playing right now against Sweden in a quarterfinal. So we're all praying to the baby hockey Jesus in the heavens. There's going to be Canada-USA in the gold medal final, and Canada's done their job.
Listen, I don't know about you, but if you noticed outside, it got a little windy because the entire country, the entire country of Canada just exhaled, and it got windy outside down here because, man, what a hockey game. But I'm with you. Canada-US right now, or Canada-US in the final would be absolutely glorious. Listen, the Czechia came in this morning and gave Canada everything they could handle. So let's see if U.S. can get it done against Sweden.
Well, it's been a hell of a lot of fun talking about the men's Olympics leading up to it. Now, during it, Trevor Harris did a great job last week from WQAM. How was your road trip, by the way?
It was a road trip, man. Always happy to come home after that.
Okay, well, glad to have you back in studio. Brent's like, do you need me Wednesday? I'm like, I need you every Wednesday, bro. You're the guy. You're the guy. So we have more topics than just Olympics. I mean, here's the one thing that I've realized, and I was out for a run this morning listening to NHL radio, and it was 2 days old. I'm like, when the Olympics are on, I've been doing sportscasting a long time, especially when they're on the halfway on the other side of the world. It sucks for a guy like me.
Yeah, it's been tricky. I mean, everybody, you and I both were talking about it, obviously trying to find coverage at certain times of the day and what was on and when was on. And obviously, the life beat of South Florida is not winter sports. So,
right.
It's made it even trickier. But, if you search long enough, we could find it. And we found some.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Having said that, I've listened, turning on the radio, whether it's Fox Sports Radio or WQAM, they've been talking Olympics. They've been talking men's hockey. They've been talking curling, for the love of God. You don't listen to those stations when you're driving, though.
No, but my local TV station up in West Palm Beach has got 2 reporters in there covering the Florida Panthers that are playing in it. And, so we've seen a lot of that coverage on TV, and it's been great. Mike
Trim and Megan McRobert.
Yes.
Big fans here of those two. But we have Panthers and Lightning talk to get to once the Olympics are over. I want to talk about this little war that I started in Canada, which is still raging. My inbox DMs going crazy over me saying there's no way the Florida Panthers would rather have Leon Draisaitl than Matthew Tkachuk. Maybe that's a good place to go here right now. For those that are watching after this live USA game, I firmly believe that.
Listen, I agree with you 100% because, like I said on your other show, is they're 2 completely different players. I mean, and it's a completely situational thing. Do you need a pure goal scorer? Leon Draisaitl is your guy, right? Do you need a guy like Matthew Tkachuk to get into the playoffs, be dirty, get things done in front of the net, play a physical game? He's your guy. Matthew Tkachuk coming to the Florida Panthers changed that team lights
and immediately.
Absolutely. And that's, I remember Bill Zito making the comments saying, watching him play in the regular season, and he says, God, wouldn't you love to have a guy like that on your team? And here he is.
Well, and how it started was, not to out you or anything, but Brent was like, I haven't watched any round robin play, and I'm like, you haven't missed anything, right? Now's the good stuff. But it was Sunday, USA versus Germany, that Tkachuk started beaking Leon Draisaitl. The Oilers star is on Team Germany, and he goes, always the bridesmaid, eh, Leon? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That detonated the world in Canada. And so some guy, I don't even know who he was, he's actually from Vancouver, but he tweeted, he goes, all 32 teams in the NHL would rather have Leon Draisaitl than Matthew Tkachuk. And I simply wrote back and said, incorrect. And from there, it's gone crazy.
I think you pull all 32 GMs, and I think you get a very different answer than what that gentleman said. I think every team needs and wants a Matthew Tkachuk. Listen, Leon Draisaitl is a phenomenal hockey player, no doubt about it. But come on, guys. I mean, Matthew Tkachuk does everything.
Well, and the argument is this is why I was okay with leaving the tweet up and putting it on Facebook, because I know the hockey people agree. This is not about who's the better hockey player.
Right.
If Florida or Edmonton had the number 1 overall pick, they might be taking Draisaitl at 17. That's not what we're talking about here.
Right.
Matthew Tkachuk is a fraction of the cost. He's got the 2 cups. He's the heart and soul of the team. And what have the Oilers won with Leon Draisaitl besides a big nothing burger? I think we've seen it in the Stanley Cup final the last 2. So anyways, I was very confident in what I said, but it didn't change the fact that they can't see it.
Man, I hope you wore your bulletproof vest today.
Why?
Because they're going to be shooting at you again.
You can stand in front of me because you just joined it. You agreed with me.
Well, I do agree with you, but I mean, listen, Canada fans are very, very passionate, and the Oilers, the Panthers got their number the last 2 years, and listen, that debate is going on, and I heard the debate of, does Matthew Tkachuk have one up on Team Canada because Team Canada won the 4 Nations? Well, come on, guys. I mean, that's a different animal.
It is, but since we're sitting here, I actually have that written down. Are you looking at my diary again?
Listen, it's great minds think alike.
Somebody had put on social media, which, by the way, a lot of social media has ruined my fun of the Olympics, so I'm not on it that much. But one thing that I saw somebody say was that 4 Nations was a better tournament than this.
No way. I mean, come on. I mean, this is every 4 years. This is for the marbles. This is hardware that you're taking home. Gold medal. I mean, just the historic of it. I mean, and the aura of it. I mean, 4 Nations is brand new. Was it phenomenal? Yeah, it was great. I mean, listen, it was phenomenal hockey. Loved it as a hockey fan, but it's not the Olympics. It doesn't have the aura of the Olympics every 4 years. These people that train all their lives to be in that Olympic Games, and it's just a completely different animal altogether.
Well, all I would say is let's not be hasty here. You're right, but we're choosing between pizza and ice cream. Yeah. They're both great. The 4 Nations Face-Off was a manufactured tournament that only had 4 teams. We didn't even know what the hell it was till like the day before.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's rallying fans in both countries, and the rinks are packed, and the Tkachuks are fighting. I'll be honest, that made them a household name in the USA.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was definitely it. I mean, that definitely put both of them on the map and led right up to where we're at today.
Yes.
I mean, that was the buildup. That started it. Now everybody's tuned into it because they saw what happened at the 4 Nations, and they want to see more of it. And I think they're going to get a full plate of it.
Sure, and that's why I say let's not be hasty. I will still the Olympics has centuries of history. I get it. 4 Nations has been around for 1, but think of the games. We watched them all. Every game in the 4 Nations Face-Off was like a 1-goal game. Whereas the Olympics, we've had 10-2 scores, 5-0 scores. The games haven't been competitive till now.
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't. The U.S. and Canada walked through, which was expected, right? But I'll tell you what wasn't expected today was, that game this morning with Canada. And it was funny because I saw a quote of one of the players. I don't know if it was Pasternak or who it was, but said basically, we went ahead and let them win the first one so we could come out and beat them in the second one when it counted. And boy, they showed up today.
Well, that was a 5-0 game. The first one, they didn't show up.
Right.
He was right. Today, they put a huge scare into Canada, which is another thing. Look, I don't want to be that guy, but we debated last week with Trevor Harris who has more pressure on them, Team Canada or USA. And this nice lady, Lorna, who watches this show, wrote in and she goes, it's the USA. And no, it's not. Because Brent said, the whole country was watching. The whole country was watching. Here, nobody even knew it was on.
Listen, I mean,
which is fine, but
Roddy, think about her point. I mean, the USA you're looking at the last time they won a medal was 1980. So this is probably their first legitimate chance since that team to actually go out and win one. So let's look at it this way. I mean, yeah, is the pressure on the Americans as much as it is on the Canadians? Living in Canada, I would say absolutely not. Living in the United States, I think, yeah, there's a tremendous amount of pressure, and I think you're going to see that in that game. I mean, if God willing, it happens, I think you're going to see that stiffness come out in both games because of the pressure on both teams to win.
Well, yeah, again, don't make too many good points here. You're going to run out. But that's another good point. There is pressure on both. We saw it with Mike Sullivan here at the Winter Classic, that was the head coach at Team USA. You could tell he was under pressure. He was getting grilled by the media for roster omissions and who they had on. That's just the way that I'm just saying there's more pressure on Canada for the reasons I just said. It's not, sure, we all have the internal pressures, why we get out of bed every day. But as far as expectations, it's Canada.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, listen, they made a movie of it, right? Miracle on Ice. USA was never supposed to win that tournament. And they came out and beat the Russians and won a gold medal. And that was the last time they legitimately have, I think, had a chance to win it.
For the Lightning fans, and where you at, by the way, we are live streaming. We would love to have your comments. I would really love to have producer Eric read them. If you want to write in, that would be fantastic. But I'm loving, as much as the social media annoys me, I am enjoying the coverage of the events. Nikita Kucherov of the Bolts has said a couple of times, this isn't a real tournament unless we're there, the Russians. And have we had that debate? Because I've asked a lot of people, how would Russia do if they were in this thing?
We did a long time ago, and my take on Russia was there was just too many big personalities. I didn't think they would even be contending. I think the Finlands and the Swedes of the world would take care of them before they even got to where it would count. But listen, he's got a legitimate point, but I mean, a little bit of spilt milk for him, right? He's not in the tournament, so I guess you can have your opinion, and it's not going to matter anyway because you're not there.
Well, it's terrible we'd all like to see it.
Yeah, I mean,
I know I would.
Back in the days of the Canada-Russia battles, for sure. I mean, but does that team stack up towards a USA team and a Canada team? And one thing I will tell you is with this small ice surface, that big, heavy game has made a huge difference. And you saw that today in the Canada game, and I think you're going to see it with the U.S. this afternoon. And, again, God willing, in the Canada-U.S. game, that I think it comes down to that.
Well, as we sit here, scoreless. So again, that's the sucky thing about these games going on while we're doing the podcast, because who knows? We're expecting that USA will beat Sweden, which, by the way, I had a thought on that. Sweden already played a play-in game on Tuesday and won. So I'm not saying they're tired, but it is a lot of games on guys that have had a lot of miles on their body already. I would think the rest, even a day's rest, 2 days rest is huge in something like this.
Yeah, it has to, just for your body to recoup and the amount of, obviously the build up to those games, because, now it's not a 7-game series, right? It's a 1 you're done or lose you're out, right? I mean, it's move on or not. But so, yeah, I mean, rest is definitely imperative in this, but, again, these guys, they have one chance at this every 4 years, so I don't expect anybody to not show up and just lay it out on the line. And we saw that this morning.
And Canada has advanced. They've done their job. So now it's up to Team USA. I'm just assuming it's the title of this episode is USA versus Canada, and it's 8 a.m. Sunday.
If we jinx them, we're going to be in a world of shit.
Here's the thing. It's not on us. So you guys go out and play the game. We're going to say whatever the hell we want.
Yep.
And again, this is just quarterfinal day. They still got semifinals to get past.
Yeah,
There's a lot of hurdles to get to a USA-Canada gold medal.
We're definitely counting some eggs.
Yeah. And the women's hockey, let's put it, I don't even know when the final is. Do you?
Tomorrow.
Oh, is it Thursday?
Thursday.
Well, they're all giving it to USA. Like they're handing it the gold medal. I don't have a problem with that. They've waltzed through this tournament.
Yeah, and they smoked Canada in the prelims, and let's see what happens.
Big time. Now, a couple other things. We broached this subject last week. I was trepidatious on doing it, but it's now out there. Sergei Bobrovsky is a pending free agent. There are teams, anybody can use a great goaltender, okay? Bill Zito has at least thought about moving Sergei Bobrovsky, has he not?
I mean, Bill Zito, I don't think, hasn't thought about moving anybody. It's just a matter of the return and what it looks like and who comes for him. I mean, Bill Zito's going to make the best decision, what's best for this team, not only right now, but futuristically. Well,
have we had this talk before we went to air?
We have.
I'm trying to remember what you said, because I've talked with a few other. It's now making the rounds, just the possibility of Bob being moved. And let me just say this. If Bob doesn't want to go anywhere, he ain't going anywhere. But as a father, he's got 2 little infants. Maybe he wants out of the house for a couple months. I'm not joking. They think like this, knowing full well that he'll be back in July.
Listen, I mean, at this point, to me, it's if you haven't heard a rumor by 10 a.m., start your own, and that's really what it is right now. I don't think there's any legitimacy to it until it actually happens. And you go back to it. I mean, would you have thought that Brad Marchand would have been a Panther last year at the trade deadline? There's not a person out there that would have told you yes.
No.
So, is there anybody out there that's willing to say that Bob's going to get moved at the deadline? I think you go back to it and. Nobody thought Jonathan Huberdeau was going to get traded, and he got traded, and it made this team better. So let's see what happens.
What the hockey people are saying is that as soon as this Olympic break is over and the teams reconvene, the Panthers' first home game here is Thursday against the Leafs, right? Their next 5-6 games are going to be like a shot out of the cannon. If they're winning, they want to make the playoffs. Yep. The Panthers do not want to shut it down. But if they have a bad start, then they'll fold the tent. The Panthers aren't saying that. That's what the hockey people are saying. And then you wonder if Bob gets moved. That's all. Because, again, if they're going to try and make the playoffs and do something, you need him.
I think they only have, 5 or 6 games, maybe 7 games before the deadline. So those decisions are going to have to be made quickly.
Fast, right. And so it'll all depend on how they do coming out of the post-Olympics. So hopefully Bob got a good rest. Hopefully everybody got a good rest. But the Panthers have more players in the tournament, the Olympics, than anybody else. So I don't know how rested they're going to be. And again, like you say, Bill Zito will have thought about it. I don't know if he's made a call or not. We haven't heard that he has. What would Bob get? Because the other goalies, Gibson in Detroit, Wallstead in Minnesota, Jordan Binnington, who won the game, everybody tells me, for Canada. I didn't see the second half of the game because I was on TV. But none of them compare to Bob. He would be the best goalie, is my point, available immediately.
Yeah, I think so, and I think a team, and it's, again, I'm gonna throw it out there. No rhyme or reason, but a team like Edmonton could certainly use a Bobrovsky going into the playoffs with his, playoff caliber of play the last couple of years. And listen, what does it bring back to this Panthers team? We've seen it. I mean, we've seen it the last 2 years that the Panthers have dipped in and what they've given up. You thought, Spencer Knight was the goalie of the future. He's obviously gone to Chicago and had a phenomenal couple of years up there. Bussy's another one, right? Bussy was basically in our organization. We let him go, and he just signed a big deal with Carolina. So, listen, it's going to take a little bit of time, and let's see what happens. Would I like to see Bob here? Yeah, definitely. Would I like to see him come back and play a couple more years here and sign maybe this summer for a little bit of a discount to keep this team together to see what happens? You got to remember, at the beginning of the season, this team was pegged by every professional out there to go 3 in a row until the injury bug hit this team. And once this team gets healthy, they're all coming back, including Bob and Barkov and everybody else. This team is basically identical to what it was last year when they won the Cup.
Yeah.
So do you shake that tree? I don't. If it's me, I don't shake that tree unless the return is worth it.
Well, a lot of our viewers are following what the other podcasts and media are saying. A lot don't. They come here to say, what is the buzz? What's going on out there? And what it is that the Panthers plan to make the playoffs. And then, of course, once you get in, who knows? They've got the experience. They certainly have the talent. We know that. And no, I don't think Sergei Bobrovsky's going. I really don't think he's going anywhere. But I say must have crossed Bill Zito's mind. And you also heard that Bob does not want to negotiate during the season. That was another thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a distraction, and hats off to Bob. It's just the type of person and guy he is. He's such a humble guy and such a team guy. He's just focused and laser focused on what the job at hand is. And I think you said it best. I think the first 5 games coming out of the Olympic break will tell us a lot of where this team's going to go and what's going to happen with it. And, again, in Bill Zito, we trust. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job. Every decision that he's made, with the exception maybe of the Gaudreau trade, or not the Gaudreau, the Giroux trade. They've all panned out, and they've been great for this team, and he's made this team better. So if that trade happens and it makes this team better, I'm all for it. Would I hate to see Bobby go? Yeah, but, I mean, listen, we had a great run with him, and he's been here 10 years.
Yeah. By the way, I still put that on Giroux, not Bill Zito. He didn't think he was going to tank it.
No, I don't think so either. I think, but again, I like the trade at the time. I think it was a good trade for this team, and yeah, I think I'm with you. I mean, I think he didn't show up the way he should have showed up.
What about our namesake, the Bolts? Because we're sitting here going, if the Panthers are in or if they're out, That's a long trek over to Tampa, which I know we're willing to make, but it's a long trek over to Tampa. What's this team going to do in the second half other than just keep demolishing everybody? I'm sure they didn't want to have a break.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a big one for me, right? As you give them this big break, they were on such a heater prior to it. They were winning games left and right, not losing anything. I think the one team that is going to be the happiest to see the Florida Panthers not make the playoffs is going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh yeah.
So, Tampa. Listen, they're legitimate, no doubt about it. Getting around it. I mean, they're by far my number one team in the NHL right now. And let's see what happens coming out of the break. They need to stay healthy. They had a lot of players over in the Olympics as well. They had some players that didn't go because they weren't healthy, which they're going to be healthy coming out of this, which makes them even more potent than they were. So let's see what happens.
Well,
but they're going to be there.
I think, I know for myself, I will be thinking of John Cooper in his Stadium Series outfit probably for the rest of my life. But it's important to be careful who you watch, who you follow in terms of media accounts. And you follow a lot, and you haven't been fooled by any, I don't think. But for anybody that thought John Cooper wasn't going to re-sign with Tampa Bay when his contract was, give me him. The guy is Tampa Bay. He's the longest-serving coach in the National Hockey League. By the way, what was that outfit? Cuban, Colombian, Floridian, what was that? Do we know?
Tony Montana, right?
Scarface?
Is that it? I think so. Ben would know. Ben's not in here right now.
Okay, that's what everybody was saying. Whatever it was, he just is Tampa Bay. And I mean, how many times do you need to? I mean, we were there. 5-1, they were down. I'm like, this is disgusting. He's going to rip that outfit off and chew this team's ass out. Next thing you know, they come back and win.
Yep.
That might be a galvanizing point in the season, but they were rolling before that. I mean, that team has got it all. I wonder if they're going to make any trades. I mean, they usually do, but what do they need?
I mean, if you look at that team from top to bottom, I mean, their power play is intact, their penalty kills intact, their goaltending has been solid. Their two-way game is everybody's bought in. I mean, how do you? I don't see how you upset that. I mean, you're the best team in hockey right now after going into the midseason and the break. So, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And unless some type of injury bug happens and some freak accident happens between now and the trade deadline, I don't think you do anything.
By the way, just for spits and giggles in the final minutes that we have left here, here's your playoff pairings as of today. And I know I don't really necessarily like doing this because
you're going there.
It's early.
It is
early. And they're going to change.
You're going there early this year.
We'll go to the Score app, and they don't usually put up the playoff pairings until, March. So we got a long ways away. I handle it. You don't need to look it up unless you're looking at other stuff.
I was looking at the U.S. score.
It would be, what is it?
It is 0-0 after 1.
Well, that's exciting. Tampa Bay versus Boston, round 1. Montreal, Detroit, round 1.
Be a good one.
Carolina, Buffalo, round 1. Pittsburgh, New York Islanders.
Okay.
Somewhat new. In the West, Colorado, Anaheim. Why not? Vegas, Utah, which is a blossoming rivalry out there, which I think if it happens would be great.
Love it.
Minnesota, Dallas,
okay.
The Battle of the Stars. If anybody knows franchise histories, that's a big one. And Edmonton, Seattle, which Edmonton against anybody would be exciting. But of the teams, Brent, the point is new teams in the playoffs would be Seattle, Utah, Anaheim, Islanders, Sabres.
Boy, they'd be happy in Buffalo, wouldn't they?
And Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit was a bubble team last year. I think the Canadians showed a great amount of improvement at the end of last year. The Islanders, I think a lot of people just figured they would be there last year. So, I mean, listen, this East Coast, the Eastern Conference is just, it's so tight. And again, we've said it a million times. Coming out of the gate, it's going to be the telltale. These teams got to get off to a fast start. They got to beat the teams that they need to beat, and that's simple.
Sure, but not every team will. So That's what makes it fun.
That's true.
Right? The playoffs are starting as soon as the Olympics are over, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, the sprint to the finish is coming.
Kelly Francis has checked in. She says, it's early. Yes, it is, but I mean, what else are we going to talk about? They're not even playing right now in terms of the standings race. So, By the way, Kelly, you showed up. I wanted to do a country reveal contest as to who Brent was cheering for in the eventuality of a USA-Canada final. He ruined that. There you go. He's Canada all the way, which is not a shock for me. But did you tell folks if you don't mind, you're...
Listen, I'm a little bit, I'm what they would call...
Heinz 57?
Made in America with Canadian parts. We'll leave it at that.
Gotcha. He belongs to both countries.
I do. I have dual citizenship, so...
and I'm lucky. Close, but where were you born?
I was born in Naples, Florida, actually. My parents were snowbirds.
Do you ever get guff over who you cheer for internationally?
No, I mean, listen, I when we went back to Canada, I think when I was like 7 months old, and that was the end of it. We were in Canada from then once my parents had kids, so... Yeah, I've never gotten any guff. I've considered myself a Canadian hockey fan from day one.
Okay, well, on Tuesday, I don't know, you were watching. I had the general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights on my TV show, Kelly McCrimmon, and I said, who you cheering for? And he said, I'll always cheer for Canada. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. Okay, good then. It's okay. Kelly said so. So I will be as well, despite my immigration status, which is fantastic. Okay, I think we got it.
We did.
Anything else you want to say?
No, man. I listen, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. Great thing for hockey altogether, and this whole Olympics. I mean, if anything like this morning's games are going to continue, man, I'm glued to my television for the next 5 days.
Well, until Sunday, I will say go USA. How about that? And then Sunday should be fun.
I'm with you.
What are you doing?
The Finns this morning? Did you see that game?
No. But they won.
Yeah, they came back and won in overtime. I think they were down 2 goals late in the third and came back and tied it up and won.
Everybody says they're the scary team. I think, well, oh my God, we didn't even... We'll have to talk about this next week, but you heard that Finnish players want Paul Maurice to be their coach?
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
That's awesome. I mean, who doesn't want Paul Maurice to be their coach?
Well, I'm dying to get with him on the weekend. I think they're back practicing Saturday or Sunday, and ask him, how do you feel? I mean, who wouldn't want... Would he do it? That's the question.
Listen, Paul Maurice, I would look forward to hearing what his answer to that is.
Right? But somebody's going to ask him. I just want to be there for it. Maybe I will have the chance to ask him. But I'll tell you this, my dad, who worked in the National Hockey League for 26 years, treasonous if you coached another team.
Well,
but that's old school. That's old school.
Listen,
thing.
I mean, let's have the Brett Hull debate.
Or Brian Trotier's another.
Brian Trottier. And I think even Billy Lindsay didn't know. Was it Randy Moore?
There's a lot of guys. No, Billy Lindsay.
Billy Lindsay played the World Juniors for American because he couldn't make the Canadian team, he said, right?
He has a history with them, which we won't get into. But I mean, I was born in Canada. I was the voice of USA football. So who's paying you?
I just remember the big one was the Brett Hull debate the last time when the NHLers first went over. And, obviously he played for USA and not Canada. And that was a big debate.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that's fun. Brent, thanks for coming down. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. It's fun.
Good job, Eric and Johan. And we'll see you all next week here on Cats and Bolts.
Ooh, he caught it.
He's a talented guy.